Hey there, my Irishman, this is Sean with Nintendo. Welcome to another episode of Let's Interview series, which you know I will take various Let's Players and YouTubers, guys. We'll interview them, and you get to know them, and they'll get a bit more publicity. So who do we have today?
Hey guys, MrGameandPichu here. Glad to be here, talking.
You can call him Edward if you want.
Go ahead.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's relatively early and relatively cold where I am right now, but, other than that, it's all good.
Alright, so you ready to get into the questions?
Of course.
Okay, so we'll start off, we'll have you tell everyone a little bit about your channel first.
Well, no surprise, I'm a Let's Player, and I Let's Play games from various systems. I've done mostly Nintendo stuff so far, but I've been doing some PlayStation 2 games recently. I've done Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Bros. 3, Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, Super Mario Galaxy Blind. I did that, blind LP of that. I did Ratchet & Clank, and now I'm doing 2 LPs. I'm doing Kingdom Hearts and Animal Crossing, as well as a co-op of the Sly Cooper.
Ooh, you got a lot going on.
Right.
So how did you come up with your YouTube name, MrGameandPichu?
Well, to try to make this as fast as I can, when I first made my channel, it was meant to be a collaborative channel between me and a real-life friend of mine where we would make Brawl Machinima. That never panned out, but the reason we decided to name it MrGameandPichu was because at the time we were playing a lot of Super Smash Bros. Melee, and he was playing as Mr. Game & Watch, I was playing as Pichu, combined the two for some reason, and it came out as Mr. Game&Pichu. I don't play as Pichu anymore, I don't think anyone should, but, that kind of came from that, and I think it has a nice ring to it, so I stuck with it rather than making a new channel.
That's probably why they didn't put Pichu in Brawl.
Probably.
Okay, so, as you guys very well know, this is well established at this stage, that YouTube has changed to the new layout, the one layout. I'd like to know, what's your opinion on this compared to the old layout and previous layouts?
Well, I've still managed to hold on to the old layout, and I'm apparently being forced out of it in like 11 days. They're giving me that warning. But I'm not a fan of the one channel. I actually have a second channel, Mr. Movie and Pichu, where I do movie reviews, and that's got the one channel, and I'm just not used to it. It's awkward to me. It doesn't have the same freedom, and it doesn't make channels feel unique and whatnot. So I much prefer the old channel, and even the one before that, where you could move around the different tabs, and you could really personalize it. It doesn't really have that anymore, so I'm kind of upset that I'm being forced into one channel.
Yeah, I think the only unique thing about it really is just the banner.
Right, and even then you have backgrounds on the old one, and I put a lot of work into my background, so I'm kind of upset to see those go.
Alright then, so for next question, who inspired you to start Let's Playing, if anyone did?
Well, it's a combination. Another surprise, Chugga Conroy, was really the first LPer I watched because I was doing a playthrough on my own of Wind Waker, and I was stuck, so I used his as a walkthrough and found that it was rather entertaining. So after watching him and some of his other stuff, I went and saw some other LPers, and I was trying to do YouTube stuff at the time, not Let's Players, so I ended up meeting people who were Let's Players. So combination of Chugga Conroy and some of my friends who were Let's Players inspired me, as well as Josh Jepson and Attacking Toucans versus LP. I thought was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on YouTube, so I was really inspired by them, because that's something I still want to do right now, is the versus, so.
Okay, cool. So was this your very first YouTube channel?
No, back in, I was in like 5th grade, so it was like years ago, 5 years ago or so. I had another YouTube channel where I didn't really make a whole lot of videos, but I was involved and watched a lot of machinima videos. That's why I was inspired to make this channel for that reason. Of course, like I said, didn't really happen. I didn't make a whole lot of videos, but I made a lot of friends, and a lot of my real-life friends were involved. That channel I had for a while before eventually closing it. I suppose I can say the name of it. It was Jomo64, and I kept that username for a while, and now it's my PlayStation Network name, which kind of bothers me. But yeah. And like I said, I have a second channel right now. So.
All right, cool. So, when you're using the other channels box on your channel, would you primarily reserve it for friends, channels you enjoy, or a mix of both?
Well, I'd say a mix of both because most of my friends' channels are also channels I watch on a regular basis. But yeah, pretty much my friends. I'd say everyone on my channels box is someone I am currently talk to a lot, or someone I am friendly with on a regular basis. So yeah, pretty much friends, even though I do watch a lot of their videos.
Okay, cool. So what was the very first game you ever played?
Now, I really have to think about this because for years and years and years I would just play licensed games, like I had like a Tarzan computer game and stuff like that, and just a bunch of licensed stuff. But probably the first game I played was a Flash version of the arcade game Rampage.
Okay.
And I played that a lot. I really enjoyed that. But then, along with getting a Game Boy Color, I also played stuff like Pokemon Gold and whatnot. So it was a combination of all those. I don't know which exactly came first.
Okay, cool. Is there any particular gaming franchise you'd like to get into?
That I'm not playing currently? Well, we were talking about this before we recorded. Metroid, I've never really played much of, and I'd like to enjoy it slightly more. Being a PlayStation fan, I've never really played God of War, so I'm kind of curious about that. And I want to play more Star Fox.
Oh, yes.
I have Star Fox 64 on Virtual Console, and I haven't played much of it, but that's the only Star Fox game I've played.
It's a pretty good game. I know actually when I completed my Let's Play of it, well, not really completed because I only went through the easy mode pat, but because it was the first time playing, it was a blind LP and I had a blast with that game. But then a lot of people kept leaving comments on my so-called finale saying, that's not the end of the game, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. It's like, yeah, I know, I said it at the very end of the video.
Yeah, it was like when I did my blind LP of Galaxy, I was worried people were going to tell me, oh, now you have to play it again as Luigi, and I'm like, no.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't need to play the game twice to make it complete.
It's like when you get those Let's Plays, it's like, I'm now Let's Playing it as a different character, so it's an entirely new Let's Play.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the sanity to do that.
Yeah, especially after a really long game like that, it's like, jeez.
Okay, for next question, what was the worst game you ever played?
Now, I don't really think about the worst games I play, because usually when I play a game and I don't like it, I'll just stop playing it and never touch it
and
again.
Forget about it.
I'll forget about it, yeah. But there's one game that managed to stick with me because of the initial impact it had, which was Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii.
Sonic and the Secret Wings.
Well,
copyright that.
I should. Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii. And the reason I hate this game so much is, well, for one thing, it doesn't have controls, and it also has the worst ripoff of Mario Party involved in it. And the reason that it sticks with me is because I had just got my Wii, and I was really excited because Smash Bros. Was coming out and everything. I just got my Wii. I bought it for Smash Bros., but I rented Sonic and the Secret Rings. I played it, and I immediately wanted to trade my Wii back in. I was like, if these are the kind of games that are going to be on this system, why did I waste my money on it? So
oh god, I'll have to look up that game.
So that's why it stuck with me. Man, I hated that game. Oh god. It's probably the reason I'm not that into Sonic right now.
Well, I only couldn't get into Sonic just because it seemed like a very fast-paced game. But like, obviously that's the whole thing about it. If you're a speedrunner for games, it's probably your thing.
Yeah, I mean, for Sonic, it's just like, I have like a Sonic standard that a game can be like a really mediocre game, but if it's a good Sonic game, I'll treat it better than it actually is because my standards for Sonic are really low.
Try Sonic Generations, I heard that's pretty good.
Yeah, and Sonic Colors is real good, but apart from it being a Sonic game, it's alright.
I also hear Sonic 06 is pretty good.
Oh yeah, I think that might be a game I'll have to blind out.
Okay, move on to the next question now, and that is, who are some of your favorite Let's Players or just YouTubers?
Favorite Let's Players, apart from those in my other channels box, to mention a few, Trail Mix Blazer, Lord Jackal, Tail of the Toaster, Stelios, 78910, the guys like that, you know. Those I associate myself with. Other Let's Players I watch are bigger LPers. I watch Chugga Conroy, obviously. I follow most of Josh Jepson's stuff. I watch Versus a lot. Like I said, that was a big inspiration for me.
I recently started watching that myself.
Right. Yeah, they're really funny. They have great chemistry. And then there's... that's about it for LPers, at least off the top of my head. Other YouTubers I watch the normal boots guys like John Tron and Peanut Butter Gamer, and also the hidden block guys like Youngtown and Balrog the Master and stuff like that. And then I also, two of my favorite YouTubers are the inspiration for me making my second movie reviewing channel are the Schmozno and Jeremy Johns. They're two movie reviewing channels, and they're both very funny.
Alright, cool. So for the next question, I would like to know, what's your recording setup like, and what kind of equipment and software do you use?
Well, my capture card is a Pinnacle video transfer. I bought it years ago, and it works pretty well, especially because there's 3 different quality options, and the highest of which, while not HD, if I render the video in HD, it will come up with pretty good quality. That's a good capture card. I also record, I have a headset for audio, and it's Astro A30 gaming headset, so it's...
Hang on a second there, I'm getting called. We'll cut this out. Sorry about that, guys. We're back now. We're going to have MrGameandPichu just continue with the question there with his equipment and software.
Right, so, like I said, I have the Pinnacle Video Transfer capture card, fairly good, records to a flash drive, which you can bring to your computer rather than recording straight to the computer, which is useful. Then for audio, I have an Astro A30 headset. I actually won that, so that was pretty cool. It's pretty expensive otherwise, so... for video editing, I use Sony Vegas Pro 11, and I record my audio, and the software I use to record audio is everyone's favorite friend, Audacity, so...
Yeah. Good old Audacity.
Yes.
Okay. So, for the next question is, we'd like to know, what's your biggest drive for Let's Plays?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Really heavy stuff here.
Going deep, guys.
The obvious thing is I love video games. I love talking. So if you add those together, then Let's Playing is pretty much what that is. But apart from that, I'm really into filmmaking, video editing, and stuff like that, so I always kind of considered it one way to practice and, you know, get used to different softwares and whatnot, and it was a major thing that kept me going with Let's Playing was that I was practicing how to use different video editors and whatnot. But I really just enjoy the satisfaction in recording and putting out a Let's Play part, because especially if you know it's good and you get good feedback, it's like it doesn't take too long to do. I mean, it takes work, but it doesn't take too long to do, and then you get the satisfaction of knowing you've entertained someone, and you know, it's sort of that good immediate satisfaction thing that I think that you can get from Let's Playing. So
alright, cool. So for the next question, what's your favorite Let's Play that you've done or are currently doing?
You know, this is tough because I think all my Let's Plays are relatively good for one reason or another, just except for my Super Mario Bros. 3 Let's Play I didn't really enjoy. But I would say my favorite LP from my perspective of actually making it was my Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland LP, because it was sort of the first one where I really felt that I came into my own in terms of video editing and just overall quality. But apart from that, I thought my Ratchet & Clank Let's Play, which I just finished, was a good blend of entertaining and informative, so I was really proud of that one as well.
Alright, cool. So for the next question, is there any regret you have with any of your past Let's Plays?
Well, certainly. First, the quality consistency, or rather audio quality consistency, between my first 2 LPs, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Bros. 3, it was really up and down. It was never consistent. Sometimes it would sound completely terrible, sometimes the audio would kick out entirely, and I just wasn't being careful enough. So the fact that I was able to fix that was nice. There was also, in my Super Mario Bros. 3 LP, the reason I didn't like it so much was because I didn't really practice that much, so I was doing terrible at the game. I was dying a lot and raging a lot, which I'm sure was entertaining for people watching, but it was rather painful. So I would have much preferred to just, you know, practice the game a bit more, kind of get used to the controls, because I was playing on my TV, so it was... I'm used to playing that game on my Game Boy Advance, so it was kind of a change, and it was hard to get used to, so I would have preferred practicing a bit more.
Alright then. Hang on, sorry, I thought I heard someone. For the next question, is there any advice you'd like to give to other Let's Players out there?
Well, like I said with the audio quality in my first two LPs, it's really, I think above all else, above even video quality, the most important thing is audio quality, and more importantly, audio clarity in an LP. Because I know personally from my experience, with a Let's Play, it's all about the commentary. While it's nice to have great HD quality for your video, it's the audio that is really what people are there for. They want to hear your commentary. They're not just looking for gameplay. So you really need good and, more importantly, consistent audio quality throughout your LPs. So you can do that without a high-quality mic, too. Just making sure your levels are good, making sure you're not too loud, not too quiet, making sure there's no white noise or no excess stuff and whatnot. Just make sure everything's clear and you can be heard, and I'd say that you have a good future in Let's Play.
Alright, cool. Good answer. So, for next question, actually, I skipped over a question, and I have a bad habit of doing this, but the question before that was, what's your opinion on the Let's Play community today?
Well, that's a tough question because it's such a big community and there's so many different people in it. Plenty of people I watch, plenty of people I don't, plenty of people I know, and plenty of people I don't. Well, among my friends who LP, among the people I know, I'd say it's a pretty good community. Everyone supports each other, everyone really likes watching each other's work, and it's great being able to be introduced to new games and new series through Let's Playing. And I really like seeing people collaborate, so whether that's on the small scale or on the grand scale, stuff like the Runaway Guys is loads of fun to see. So, I mean, I like Let's Plays, and people make them good and are friendly about it, so it's a good community.
Alright, cool. So guys, we're coming pretty close to the end of the interview here, so we're going to tone down to a little more friendly questions. And we'd just like to know, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Favorite Pokemon? I don't like being unoriginal, but it's a starter. Feraligatr, who was my first Pokemon when I got Pokemon Gold, and still to this day, whenever I'm playing Gold or Heart Gold or whatever, it's the only Johto starter I'll ever choose. I love Feraligatr. I think it's my favorite starter, my favorite Pokemon. Non-starter Pokemon would be my favorite. Would probably be Crobat. I love Crobat. I think it's
alright, cool. Okay, so for our, I think it's third last question here, we'd like to know, and everyone knows, this is a personal favorite question of mine, and that is, what is one embarrassing fact about yourself?
Jeez, that's a tough question. One embarrassing fact about myself. You're gonna have to bear with me for a moment while I think about this. You know what? You've made me speechless.
I put you on the spot here, haven't I?
Yeah, I was trying to look through questions before and make sure I was prepared for this, but I ran out of time. Well, I would say that I'm very, very sensitive when it comes to Let's Plays, and that kind of goes both ways, and that I care a lot when I'm mentioned or I appear in other things, so I find that I, embarrassingly enough, will constantly go back to videos where I'm mentioned, be it positive or negatively, just to kind of hear myself.
I know exactly what you mean.
Just to kind of hear myself be mentioned or see my name somewhere, and it's kind of embarrassing because I feel kind of arrogant, but also really sensitive when I do that, because it can be a negative thing where I get really offended easily. But yeah, I get really obsessive when I'm mentioned and I appear other places.
I'll be honest with you, I do that a lot myself. Like, there's a couple of times where if someone ever made a birthday video for me, or if I was in an interview video, or if there was a shout out, occasionally when I'm bored, I just go away and stroke my ego for a little bit.
I do the exact same thing. That's probably, I find that, I feel embarrassed about that, but yeah.
Don't worry, man, you're fine. Okay,
thank you.
We're on to the second last question here, guys. And you don't have to answer this one. This is an optional question if you want to contribute to the last interview. We'd like to know, is there any question you'd like me to add in for future episodes?
One question I got when I did a 50 sub special a while back, when I asked people to ask me questions, one question I got, which I was pretty interested to get, and I'm kind of glad I got it, was, what's one game you'd like to LP but can't for whatever reason? I think that's a good question, I think, because, you know, it kind of shows if they're opening up to something else or whatever, but can't immediately do it.
I'm not going to lie to you, but that was a question that was actually submitted in, and it's not here on my list.
Huh.
You know what, they've got a bad habit of having this happen, guys, but I'm not going to cut this out. Want to know why? Because I love these interviews to just be as they go here. But I'll add it in, because I'm pretty sure I did, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, okay. Move on to the last question here, guys, and this is just a bit of personal feedback to me, but how'd you like this interview?
It was a lot of fun. I was excited to do it, and like I said, for my embarrassing fact, it'll be nice to see myself out there. And I like talking to you, so this was a lot of fun.
Alright, thank you. And thank you for being on. Guys, we want to thank you all again for watching this episode and for always supporting the Let's Interview series. We'd like to thank MrGameandPichu for joining us today. No
problem. I very much enjoyed doing it. Thanks for watching, everyone out there.
Make sure, guys, to go check out the channel. Link in the description box to that. His Twitter and any other links you want to throw in there. Well, thank you one more time for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. So, bye for now.
See you guys.